welcome to That's Good Craic. With me, Dan, Colin.
How is? What's the crack?
And Mick.
Yo, yo, yo.
Listen to our podcast every 2 weeks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 25 of That's Good Craic. My name is Colin. I'm joined by the usual Mick and Danny. What's happening, lads?
What's the crack, boys?
Yeah, well, all good in the hood.
It's been a while. Good to hear from you again.
You too, man. You too.
Yeah, too long.
Delhi. Today we are joined by Billy Moore from the, what would you say, the movie and the book, A Prayer Before Dawn. Billy is a bad boy turned good. Billy Moore grew up on the mean streets of Liverpool. After falling in with the wrong crowd at an early age, he became a career criminal with a serious drug habit and spent 15 years behind bars in 22 different prisons, including the notorious Thai prison, Klong Prem, ironically known as the Bangkok Hilton. Billy documented his experience in a book called A Prayer Before Dawn that has now been made into a critically acclaimed movie of the same name. Billy, what's the crack, man? Absolutely delighted to have you here. It's like a big fan of the film. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was very authentic and original. And yeah, man, I'd say it looked like some journey.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, everything's all good. I mean, it's like, you know, when you have an experience in life, it's and there's no escaping it, and you've just got to document it. That's probably what it did with it all, really.
I'd say it's quite surreal looking at it. Is it like an outer body experience, or even is it like looking at someone else?
Yeah, it's like when you're writing a bit about yourself, and you know, when you've got to write about yourself and read about yourself. I mean, you say, don't you, like writing's very therapeutic, and
yeah. But
when you write about yourself, you can't lie to yourself.
The pen never lies.
No, it's like it's when I wrote the book and I read the book and I felt sorry for the guy in the story, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then I watched the movie, and it was like it was watching a story about someone else's life and thinking, wow, that's some tough. I just felt like, in a sense, like, what's wrong with this kid? If you ever, like, it's like, what's wrong with him? Why didn't he get his shit together? Why didn't he stop doing what he's doing and just listen to the people that are trying to help around him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mad. Like, I would have seen. I think I've seen the movie. Maybe a friend of mine put me onto it. He's also lives clean and sober, and he put me onto this. He read the book. He said, you have to check this, and then he watched the movie. He said, I have to check it out. Checked it out, man. I just thought, you know, like I felt like, you know, some of these stories, it's hard to connect, but I really, really could connect with it. I've spent some time in Thailand myself as well. I don't know if that's why, but I just thought with the lads, and most of them were talking Thai and everything, it was very legit, like, you know what I mean? You could kind of really get a sense of how hard it was, man. The struggle, like the struggle, like how accurate was the whole thing, the movie in terms of your experience?
Yeah, that was it was really authentic. So it was like, that was down to the artwork of the director. I mean, he didn't want any kind of Hollywood CGI. He didn't want to invent stories that weren't true. He was on set for a year in Thailand, casting ex-prisoners who were non-actors. And then he had a real Thai prison that had just been abandoned. So it was as real as it could be. Plus, he worked alongside me on the script, and anything that we didn't like that wasn't real, we kind of like sort of compromised.
And when you're saying that, Billy, like, you know, of course, it was just an amazing story anyway, but like when you talk about Hollywood, and yours, like, comparatively speaking, was a low budget movie, but it was so well done. Like, so many times they throw hundreds of millions at a movie and you come out going, what was that? And so yeah, absolutely, you could see that. But you said something interesting back there, like when you were looking at the movie, you were asking the questions like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, why is he doing that? And I suppose, you know, just to give us a bit of a backstory and a bit of understanding, because it's an extreme story, like, you know, and it's like, but obviously there was more to it. Like, so just a bit about your past, as in your younger years, and what led you to be an absolutely mad bastard in Thailand.
Yeah, there's loads of contributing factors, but I didn't just, like, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and and life was quite rosy, and then I just decided to go to Thailand. It was growing up. It was like there was a lot of like feeling different and separate from everyone else. You know, being the oldest out of 6 and living in a household with a violent alcoholic father. He was smashing the house up when the sea was cold and living in all that fear. And I don't know, just screaming for that acceptance from him and wanting his approval. You know, and listening to his stories when he come in, pissed about how a great boxer he was, and thinking, okay, if a box, maybe you'd love me, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So joining a boxing club. I think like I probably joined a boxing club for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
When I was young, in my youth, because I was really like that skinny and I had knobbly knees and I couldn't really fight anyway. For some reason, I enjoyed it. I think what it was is like all the pain I was feeling and experiencing in the house, you know, was internal. But when you punch me, you know, you could hit me all day long and I could take that kind of stuff. But it was like the heartache and the rejection and the fear and the loss. That was something that like you couldn't put a plaster on.
Mm.
And when I was, I think I found myself, you know, avoiding being at home a lot and standing outside on the streets with groups of young lads and wanting to fit in with them. You know, and I started pretty late. I say started pretty late when I started using drugs. I was probably about like 15, 16, which is considerably late, you know, when
Yeah.
You know, I'd probably tried stuff like earlier on, like some marzipan and the volume out of my auntie's handbag when she used to come down. She was on medication and I'd sneak the odd tablet because it made me feel a little bit wobbly, and I don't know why I enjoyed that feeling.
Do you know, I love what you said there. You know, like I started a bit late. I started when I was 15. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it shows that the kind of era that we grew up in as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think when I was that young, there was a lot of people. You know, 13, 14. 12, I don't know what it's like anymore, to be honest. But there was like, but it's kind of funny to hear that. Like, you actually hear it out loud when it's the truth. You know what I mean? Started a bit late. You know what I mean? 15 or 16.
But there was kids on methadone by the age of 12 and 13 in Liverpool.
Jesus Christ.
And there was, you know, you'd go to school and they'd be at the back of the field smoking spliffs and that. So, and I wouldn't have nothing to do with that. I don't even think it was in school. I'd left school by the time I was involved in addiction. But for me, you know, once it picked up, it was like I knew after a couple of months of using that I wanted to stop. I didn't want to do it anymore, and I just didn't know how to. It was like I was in the grip of something. You know, I was obsessed. All the usual stuff that we learn as we go along in life, and we become aware of stuff. You know, we don't become aware of it until we surrender and we listen. For me, anyway, it was like, I had to go through years of pain and consequences for I realised that I was ending my life pretty quick.
And I suppose, Billy, like, it's obvious, like, you're an intelligent guy and obviously street smart as well, like, to survive what you've survived and all that. And it shows, like, you know, how powerful this thing is when you talk about being in the grips of addiction and stuff like that, when you make these life choices and people look at you going, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any, like, yeah. And but just in your kind of story, it seems to be like an extreme version of, we all have it, like, you know, to that extent of that nonsensical thing when you're in the grips of addiction, what you'll do. Like, to talk to you today, like, you know what I mean, you have yourself together, you're clean, you're after been through a lot of stuff, but like, you're an intelligent, articulate man, you know what I mean? And like, to think of the life that you're after living, you know what I mean? It's amazing, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? And we all have that to a certain extent, with people looking at us when we're in the grips of it going, like, how could you do this? It seems moronic on one level, but it's like, it just shows the power of it, I think.
Yeah, it shows, and I feel quite saddened by like the judgments that we were given and the labels that are put on us because of our past consequences. Like, I do a lot today in the community that I give a lot back, you know what I mean? With kids with autism, and I help out, and I enjoy it, and I love it. I'm not doing it for a bouquet of flowers. I do it because it's who I really am. But when you put something in me, well, not when you put, when I put something in myself, you know, I become someone else. Drugs are more important. I don't value myself. I can't stop. I'm doing things that I don't want to do. You know, find myself in places that I don't want to be. And it's just like, it's like, I fucking have to ask myself the question, when are you going to stop? How are you going to stop? What's going on here? And then there's them brief moments of clarity where there's windows of opportunity, where someone will get through and say, look, you know, there's a life better than this. You know, you can change. You can be different. And then there's them years of failed attempts because we don't know there's a way out. We try our own way. We'll you know, for me anyway, I'll isolate myself. I'll separate myself from people. I'll stay in the house. I won't go out. I'll go down a block when I'm in prison. I won't use them. All it was avoiding people. Because I thought they were the problem. When in reality, it was me, wasn't it? The choices were the ones that I made.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too, like with your story, just for the listeners, you were about 3 years clean and when you went to Thailand, and you were working on a movie. Was it Rambo 4 or Rambo 6? Which, I don't know which one, or 5
Rambo
was
4.
it?
That was
Rambo 4, yeah, you were a Scot.
That was a bit I was 3 years clean, but it's like going to Thailand with untreated addiction. We talk about it, you know, we can get clean, but we just don't know what we suffer with. So I'm going over there, and you know, and I've got these big pink fluffy cows over my ears, and everything's great. And you know, I'm like a big kid, and I end up competing in Muay Thai competitions, teaching English, you know, as a foreign language in Thailand, in schools with a bachelor's degree that I bought online. You know what I mean? It's trying to live an honest life and believing that you're honest, but you're being dishonest by buying degrees.
You may pass me on that website.
The link will be in the bio.
I kind of justified it because I took a course, like a TEFL course online. That I think it was 6 months, and I passed that. But then I felt I needed something else, so I got a bachelor's degree from Kozan Road for about £1,000, and that didn't work out well because it looked really crap. So went online and paid for something different. I was just trying to I had this mad fantasy about living in Thailand and changing my name and my culture and moving out there and staying out there for good. It was weird. And then I was in a gym in Chiang Mai, North Thailand, training, and this casting crew came in and started asking us questions, and would we like to be extras for the movie called Rambo? And I was over the moon. I was you messing? Yeah, of course. And a couple of weeks later, I got a phone call asking me would I be Sylvester Stallone standing, and I thought it was one of my mates. So seriously, I thought, oh no, someone's on the black. Someone's definitely winding me up. And they were going, can you meet us outside the Royal Orchid Hotel at 4 a.m? And I went, 4 a.m? The Royal Orchid. He went, no, it's serious. It took ages, for me to believe it. So I went at 4 a.m, still not convinced that it was true. And, the reality of it was all it was a casting crew were all there, and the full team were there, and they were heading off into this jungle kind of Hollywood set at that time in the morning because they had to be on set for 6. And, it started then, and I went alongside with him for a good few months, and that was just incredible. It was he's my hero. I was wow, this is amazing.
And it's just just to see it, you were after going over teaching English, you're fucking Sylvester Stallone, stunt double, you're living it, on that level, and then you're clean, but you end up you have a breakup over there.
Yeah, it's like anything that we do. We don't laying about our feelings or how we cope with it.
Yeah.
Then we end up suffering. And for me, it's you know, for the first time in my life, I fell in love. Well, thought I fell in love. I mean, I was falling in love every week. If you smiled at me, it was a relationship. You know what I mean? You know, it was like, so I met this girl, and she was the one, like everyone else was the one before that. You know what I mean? They're all the one, aren't they? She's the one, definitely. This is it. It's going to be the one. And she found out she couldn't speak English. That's all. And our relationship was based on a dictionary. And like, I found out she was with another fella, and you know, it took me about half an hour to express just like one sentence through the dictionary how I felt, and it just didn't work out. You know what I mean? And it broke my heart, and you know, I couldn't deal with the pain. And I remember like knowing a little bit about using and the consequences, but not fully comprehending that. Like the addiction side of me would, like, you know, it'd take me back out there for a long time if it didn't remain vigilant. And I picked up. It was a drink at first, you know, the gateway drug. We think we can have a drink. Well, I do. I thought I can have a drink. That wasn't my problem. That wasn't my drug of choice, so to speak. And that was just like within 12 hours in Burma smoking heroin. You know what I mean? Probably
Yeah.
Stay back.
Well, it's amazing, like, you know what I mean? Like, you were in Thailand in clubs fighting, like, Muay Thai, getting your ribs broke, getting punched in the face, taking, like, it's scary stuff, especially for a Westerner to be going into those places and imagine, like, what you were doing, and you were standing up to that, no problem. All the physical pain you could be thrown at you. But, like, you know, we talk about it often here on the podcast, that inability to experience emotional pain. You know what I mean? That when you use drugs or substances to deal with that throughout your life, when they're gone, unless you, like you talked about, unless you treat that, unless you get some other way of dealing with that, like you know what I mean? A breakup, which many people go through, but for us, you know what I mean? You end up short time after smoking heroin.
Yeah, well, if you talk about like a breakup, you know what I mean? It's obviously what happens when the word breakup means you literally just break up within yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like, oh yeah, it's just a breakup. It's like you're torn apart. You know, you're broken in two. And I remember it took me a good few weeks before you know, I picked up. I didn't have the feelings, and then just go like, that's it, I'm going to use because I can't cope. No,
Yeah.
force it. And I remember the oddest feeling I ever had was like I was being in Thailand and I was like comparing like where I was to somewhere else, and I found myself doing these geographicals all over Southeast Asia. I thought to be better down the south of Thailand. I went down to the south along the beaches. I got there and I couldn't wait to get back. And when I got back, I wanted to be somewhere else. I was really disturbed within myself, and I couldn't settle. And I just couldn't. It was horrible. It was the most strangest feeling ever. That no matter where I went, I took myself, and I didn't realise that.
Your head was with you.
It was like everywhere I went to Vietnam, like literally went to Vietnam because I thought it might be great there for a week, and it was a nightmare. You know, as soon as I got over there, the British passports and Gary Glitter had just been given 3 years.
Jesus
so when
Christ.
I got into the airport, they were all looking at me when they were looking at my passport. And like, I didn't know he'd been nicked or something. He went, you know, you're the leader of the pack and all that. I'm like, what's going on here? He goes, yes, Gary Glitter! And then I seen him on the celly getting 3 years. I thought, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. I mean, it is the whole thing, like, it's, you know, it's like, even when I was trying to give up drugs, man, it was like, tried everything. Locations, everything you could. I always say the only thing I never done was got one of those blockers into my lungs, or you know, that type of thing.
Yeah,
kind of that makes you sick and stuff. Tried everything, but it's until you kind of get real, and you know, and that realization that you need to just look after yourself, you know.
Yeah,
that's a tough.
And there was a saying that, like, I used to, you know, the cliches that I'd listen, because I did go to meetings in the early days, and you know, I started to let go of them when I'm in this country, because you know, I believe they didn't need them, and you know, you hear those cliches, they come back to you, don't they? You know, using will never be the same. You'll have a belly full of drugs and a head full of recovery. And I remember sitting in a tight shell with 18 ties, looking around, thinking, fucking hell, You know what I mean? This is what it is. This is what I've got going on right now.
So were you doing much training out there? Like as in, because I know you boxed, but were you doing much Thai boxing to like before you start fighting, like as in for money?
Yeah, I was I've trained all my life. I mean, ever since it was like about 8-9 years old when I got my first weight set off my mum. Well, she was quite confused. She bought me a weight set one Christmas after asking me what I wanted. And when I did say I want a gym kit, she said, well, why don't you want a bike like your friends? And I remember saying to her, I just want to be big and strong so I can protect you. Because I was very small and she was being like bullied by my dad and I felt that if it was capable of like defending her, you know, her life would be better. So I trained from an early age anyway, and he enjoyed it. That's all I've ever known. So even when I was using, you know, I'd be doing some kind of activity. And when I was in Thailand, I was training competitively in Thai boxing because I'd boxed for England as a schoolboy. And I just, you know, changed over a little bit to Thai boxing, competed over there. So I was fighting 3 times a night sometimes, you know, like show fights. And
fucking hell, yeah. They fight a lot. Thai fighters fight every second week nearly, don't they?
Yeah, I was doing show fights like 3 or 4 times a night, which wasn't intense, but I was having a competition at least once or twice a week. Which was pretty like, and it's 5 rounds, 5 3-minute rounds. It was very volatile. It was hardcore. Like.
So 3 fights of 5 minutes a night, was it? Like 3 fights with 5 3-minute rounds. 5
3-minute rounds. You'd have where you've got amateur boxing over here, which is 3 2-minute rounds, and that's all I'd ever did as a kid. 3 2-minute rounds in clubs, and we'd go to competition. And 3 2-minute rounds doesn't sound much, but it's very, very it's intense. It's a lot.
The amateur is quicker, isn't it? It seems to be the amateur that's more like pace in it as well.
Yeah, but over there it's like it was very patient for the first 3 rounds. It's very paced. After the 3rd round that they start really going to war. So it was like I had to either win within the first 3 rounds or it'd be a really tough competition.
Yeah, I've been to Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok watching it. It's always the way. I think that the first 2 rounds were always just feeling out, and I think it's something got to do with the gambling as well in those stadiums, isn't it? Where it gives people.
You hear them.
Yeah. Some spot, man. Like to fast forward, how exact? Because I know in the movie it shows them kicking in the door and you get caught with yaba, and
why is yaba different?
Methamphetamine. It's.
Yeah, did you get caught with a gun as well? There was a gun in the movie. I was like, I wonder if he actually, or did he add that in for just, you know, a little bit extra drama?
No, it was a Colt 45. I don't even know why I bought it. It was.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I remember. I remember having a room full of weapons and no enemies. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I was that skinny. I could hang glide off as a Dorito, and I was like I remember like just buying, because you could buy all kinds over there from the markets. You know, it's so with the paranoia, I was like building up this artillery of like weapons. Because you had all these like paranoia going on in my mind deeply. Yeah, so when he entered the door, when he come through the door, it was like he said to me, "Whoa, is this a fucking Rambo movie? You know what's going on here?" I had all kinds of like stun guns and machetes and fucking a gun. And that was the biggest fear. I thought, oh, that's it. I'm going to go away for a long time now. And I never even went to court. He didn't even charge me with that. He stole it.
The cops took it, yeah. It's worth money, of course. It's probably more than they're making. So you know, it's just gone.
You know what? I found out when I was away that like you couldn't get no longer than 9 months in prison for a weapon, a gun.
And how long did you get for the mobile phones that you had?
3 years.
9 months for a gun. That's correct.
No, it was like back to front. It was like I was thinking that because over in the UK, you'd probably get 5 years minimum for a hang-on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Straight away.
It's mandatory here in Ireland too. Yeah, I think 5 or 7 years. One of them.
There's no messing about. Plus with bullets as well. So that was me thinking I'm going to get. And when I was kind of relieved when that didn't come up in the chart sheets. None of the weapons really. They weren't really concerned. It was quite odd. He didn't find any illicit drugs because we're quite like anything. The first thing that goes up your back passage is drugs, because that's what you want to be waking up to instead of
So you were actually selling meth, were you, out there?
Do you know what? I was like low, like a low level drug dealer in a sense.
Just moving bits for yourself, really, just to keep yourself going.
Nothing glamorous in my mind. It was probably a cartel, like moving through borders and operating covertly in the dark. I was just funding a habit that had developed, and I was selling it to friends and locals and stuff. Nothing major.
And Billy, moving on, when you got locked up, and of course it was an extreme kind of place, 80 people in the cell and stuff like that, and you struggled straight away, like you were clashing heads with people in there, like you were like against authority still. You were like, you were getting in a lot of trouble with the other inmates, the other international inmates that were kind of in the prison, and you got segregated into a totally Thai cell. Wasn't that what happened?
Yeah, that was like that happened pretty fast, really. It was like, I don't know, you'd call it like a rebel without a cause, really. You'd be fighting like everyone else's battles and sticking up for the underdog, and I've seen these foreigners bullying this Italian and this American, these old guys, and I felt like, where's the unity? Collectively, we're Westerners, there's not many of us, we should stick together and usually humiliating them for your own fun, and that led to me reacting and fighting with a couple of guys, a couple from Australia and an Iranian, and ended up in a segregation because of it. And I ended up with loads of bruises and cuts and getting beat up a lot.
Those segregation little spots, well, in the movie that they put you in, were they outside in the sunshine?
Yeah, they were in there. They were in like really, like they were like 4-foot cells.
Oh, that's heavy, man. Enough.
And they were under stairs, like under the stairway, and they put you in there. It was like that was horrible. It was like for a week, a whole week.
A week. Fucking hell.
And it was pitch black as well, with these little holes in the door that you just little light come through.
Fucking hell. What's that like, man? What
mentally?
Mentally, what? Yeah.
It was soul destroying. It was the loneliest I've ever felt. It was torture on the mind. And at that moment in time, you'd done everything to get out of there, but you just knew that no matter what you said to them, you'd have to stay this time. You wouldn't even tell you how long you were doing. There was people that were in there for like a month, and I was thinking I couldn't do a month in here. I couldn't do a night in there, but I ended up doing like a week and then 2 weeks at one time, and it was like, like not learning by my mistakes and carrying on. Yeah.
Did you lose track of like that's interesting? Say that. Did you lose like track of time in there? Like you like obviously daylight, some you see night, day, but did you kind of lose track of in there? Like how fucking long am I in here? Like.
No, I think you'd figure out by the sound of the whistles that what time of day it was, really. And I think after a couple of days, it was like, have I been in, I'd miss a day, or I've been in there a day less, you know what I mean? I wouldn't really be too sure.
And how did you end up getting into to be a fighter inside in the prison? Because it wouldn't have been the norm for the Westerners to do that, would it have been?
No, I got speaking to this Thai commando called Officer Prasit, and what was going on? He wanted to learn English, and he felt I was quite likable, and I was talking to him, and kept telling me, stop getting into fights. I was going to end up in a bad place. I was probably going to end up dead. And you know, why didn't I join the boxing team? I was like the Oscar De La Hoya of the prison, you know, you called me Farang Bar, which is like crazy foreigner because that's everything. And I don't know what it was. He just liked me, and he just kept calling me Nong Chai, and that was like inside that means younger brother because he was an older guy, and he encouraged me to join a boxing team, and they were quite like they were like weren't too keen on letting me in because of the way I was behaving. But eventually, you know, he compromised, and I got some cigarettes and I gave them to the boxing agent. His name was Chanam Saijai, and so once I gave him the cigarettes and he let me in, he left me alone. He didn't really bother me, but once he seen that I was willing and I was having a go, started to communicate and get me involved.
But
it took a long time. It was a process, like.
It's kind of amazing though, like when someone like, you know, a bit older and you know, when you were in need, like, but when they were respectful and kind of showed you a bit of time and gave you a bit of encouragement, like, you know, the chain of events that came after, you know what I mean? That you even when you gotten into jail, it wasn't enough to stop you getting in trouble and doing all that type of thing. But this guy showing you a bit of interest and a bit of positivity and that, and once you got that, you know, you were able to focus on the fighting, that like you got off drugs, you stopped getting in trouble, like, you know what I mean? Everything changed. Like, it's an amazing.
Yeah,
amazing
it was.
thing.
I think it was the first time that someone really showed me some humanness.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, and a bit of compassion. It was like I felt like, you know, I was. See, look, this is what it is with me. I just want to escape reality every day, and you know, with the ways and means to get what I needed, and I'd go to any lengths, and I'd find myself in the hospital part of the prison, begging the medics at the hatch, you know, inventing pain that I never had, fucking lying like there's no tomorrow. I wouldn't leave. I'd end up fighting with the medics. They were like this. I was down in the segregation unit for fighting with over medication that they were trying to sell me. It was like fucking bizarre. But I kept going back, and I'd be fucking chewing on the fucking necks and biting ears and getting punched and battered, and I'd end up with black eyes and getting stitched up. And it was like I'd be back again a couple of days later when they'd let me out. And they were like, fucking hell, the whistle would be going and the alarms would be going off, and this is when he's fucking round a bend. This fella is relentless, and it wasn't that I was relentless. It was that like I couldn't stop. It was that like I needed to just not be in reality at that. It was horrible. So, and once they gave me a bit of medication, you realised it was quiet, but then I wouldn't stop. It'd be more, and it would be relentless. And they'd be like, I just can't give you no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was like sort of like it was like about a 6-month period where it was like a whirlwind in that prison, and then that officer kind of took notice and was like, "Come on, let's look at changing your life here a little bit. I'll help you."
Powerful stuff. Like,
and were you fighting for how long were you fighting in like tournaments within the prison? I suppose against other prisons.
I'd say about 6, 7 months, 8 months. It wasn't really that long. I think I spent about 1.5 years in this one prison where that was happening before they moved me to Klong Prem. Because I was in 2 different prisons, you see.
Yeah.
I was in my story, in my book, it kind of describes that like Chiang Mai prison is where the boxing began, and, you know, where everything changed. And then it was like, I had about 18 months within that prison, then I got transferred to Bangkok. There was no boxing involved there, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And how did your story evolve there in Bangkok then? Like what kind of, when the boxing went away, did you have an outlet then, or what did you do?
No, it was, I remember I found out I was going, and I was on the bus traveling from Chiang Mai, and it was a 1,000-kilometer journey, and it was, I just got taken out of a hospital bed after having surgery. And the boxing agent and the boxing team were on the bus, and they were going to a different prison on the way to compete. And he said to me, when you get here, he said, be on your best behaviour. It's not like Chiang Mai. But there was only 4,000 inmates in Chiang Mai, which is quite a lot. Anywhere, but in Bangkok, there was like 20,000 inmates.
Wow. Fucking hell, man.
He said to me, it's like, they'll kill you. He will kill you. You won't think twice about it. And he instilled that fear in me in a good way before I got there. But when I got there, I just repeated the same thing all over again from the first time I was in there. But then, like, as soon as I got comfortable in my surroundings, I started doing the same things, getting in debt, fighting with samurai gangs, being subjected to threats of death with HIV-infected syringes, and these were all tattooed. They're all tattooed anyway, basically. But this was taking prison to another level, and the fear of it was incredible. Watching people getting murdered, watching people getting raped, being subjected to threats of like rape and violence upon me, and still couldn't stop. You know what I mean? No matter what, I couldn't stop using, and I would change that. See, what I found out is, like, I got involved in boxing, and I was collectively involved in a group which was like unified, and they were there to protect me, and I felt safe. It was like the fellowship, and then I get to Thailand, and I learned that, like, I started. I was approached by these Muslim guys who I was talking to one day, who were eating this food, and I was looking at them, and they invited me along, and said, would you like to join us? And I sat with them. And it was the first time that I'd ate good food. You know what I mean? I was in debt. I paid all my debts. I had no money. I couldn't buy any decent food. And he offered me this meal, and I said, I'll come back tomorrow if that's okay. They said, only Muslims really eat here. So me being me, I bought a sarong and stone cap, and then I went and sat with them the next day and changed my name to Yusuf Muhammad. And I spent a year with them trying to blag it that I was a Muslim.
Where did they get the food, Billy?
They were like really, because they were like really like well off, well to do, and it's very corrupt.
Oh, right.
If you're not involved in drugs, your life is great. Trust me. Yeah. If you haven't got a drug problem and you've got a little bit of money, you can live okay.
Yeah.
If you've got a drug problem, you've got nothing.
That's true.
You're scraping yourself out of the bottom of a barrel trying to get a bite of an apple or something. Yeah. And I was being like taken care of. I stopped using, and they surrounded me, and I felt collectively as a group I was supported the game. But it was just and I learned a lot of stuff from them, and they knew I wasn't like one of them. They never judged me or told me to go away. So that was quite interesting.
The thing that stands out for me a lot in your story, and like, obviously you're a warrior on many levels, and it's like that myself as well. The one thing I've always struggled with in my life is a rejection, the feeling of rejection, the feeling of not being wanted, and you could punch me in the face and I get over it a lot quicker than you're telling me you don't want me around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the things kind of stands out for your story, and from listening to some of your interviews, is the thing that you struggle with mainly, and you can tell me if I was wrong, is kind of emotional pain and rejection, and sitting with that. And for me as well, the easiest way was to kind of to run away from it. I'm just wondering, because one of the things we talk about is how your life changes when you put down drink and drugs. How kind of do you deal with those things now? Or how would you, like, if you were to suggest to someone how do you deal with your emotions now, or how do you find it now? Like,
well, it's I've been going to LA for about 16 years, so I'd say it's within 16 years, my journey hasn't been straight. I haven't been clean that long, but I've had a total of probably about 11 years abstinence in all that time.
Nice one.
So I've learned I've had like big periods of clean time, but it's been 5 years, 3 years, and what the fuck went wrong? And I was diagnosed with cancer, and I picked up. It was I had all kinds. I get over big problems, the deaths of family members, and sometimes, the endings of relationships, and I could cope. But it was like, it was over at like a period of time where, in the beginning, I was quite vulnerable. And I thought using was the answer to all these problems. But that's all he ever had known. But every time the progression became even worse. And I snowballed back into the addiction pretty quick. I become that, someone I didn't want to be. What I do today is, I don't know, I feel quite strong in my recovery. I feel that we're quite blessed and that we've only got a few short decades of life on this planet. And I've wasted most of them. I think it's important that we just live, in the moment. So there's a lot going on about mental health and people suffering. I don't really know if I've ever suffered with that kind of stuff, to be fair. I've never had medication for any kind of mental health illness. I've been offered it by doctors who said I've got it, and I'm like, well, I don't think I have really, to be honest. You've got this, you've got that. Well, that's what you're saying I've got, but I just feel okay. How did you cope with it? The nightmares and it's all right. You know what I mean? I'm fucking hell. I'm from Liverpool. Been brought up and fucking on the streets, and I've spent years as a kid in jails. You know what I mean? It ain't no different. You can put me anywhere in the world. I just seem to cope a lot better today, and I think it's took a long time to get the understanding. And I've got this desire not to use. What happens today is when I struggle, I start to I short circuit a little bit in my mind. Well, fuck this, I can't cope. So don't think about what I'm going to pick up. What I do think about is remove myself from a situation and having a bit of quiet time on my own and just settling down, and then I recover that way and I feel a bit better. You know what I mean? Or I speak to a friend and share where I'm at with it. So I hope a lot better by communicating with others there and having a laugh. So what the best, like you said, is just what's the crack in it? I have a good laugh around my own kind of mental gymnastics. And I don't know, I just identify on that level with people. I'm not one of those who shit around in meetings and become a boring bungle, and I'm super sensitive. I know I am sensitive, but I'm not the kind of guy who's going to start pressing flowers into books and read your poems. You look at me funny. I can get a bit paranoid and think, is he fucking looking at me a little bit odd there? I said it. And I start going into that kind of way of thinking. But then I check myself and go, look, he's probably having a bad day. Think about what's going on for him. And so it's like I have that breath for the action that separates the men from the boys. I think, okay, take a deep breath and think about what you're going to do. And that's all it is, really. Think about your next step. For me, anyway.
Yeah. It's just an amazing story of resilience and fucking. But and it was inspiring to hear how well you're doing and all that. But a sad kind of part of the story, I know a lot of it is, but was that you'd written the book, and just one thing I wasn't clear on. What I did hear was that the production company that made the movie, they kind of manipulated the situation to give you very little money for the story and all that type of thing, and which was sad. When I heard that, it was just legit kind of oh man, it was rough. And but is the book in the same way? Do you get money from the book? I'm not asking how much, man. What I'm saying is you were kind of done out of money around the production of the movie. Is it a separate thing around the book? Because just to encourage people to buy the book,
It's just that my publisher's Irish, to be fair. He's from Dublin. He's from Maverick House Publishers. He's been John Mooney. He's been quite fair over the years. You know what I mean? He has. He's paid me every. You're never going to be a millionaire out of a book. Unless you're him writing big Harry Potter trilogies and that. I never thought I'd even get it off an A4 piece of paper. So I was quite grateful for what I'd achieved. So, the book, I get paid every 6 months on royalties, which is never going to be much, you know what I mean? But it's nice see what I enjoy more than getting paid from that is like the people that send me messages and go, you know what, I've read your story and it's inspired me and I feel like if you can get through this, then I can, and that's enough really. Like you giving back, because I've robbed a lot over the years, and the reality of it is, you know, it's not who I am. The production team, it's just a dog eat dog world. That's the reality, you know. I don't hold any resentments. I did in the early days. I found that I wasn't really savvy in the industry, and you know, got misled and misdirected and misinformed, and you know.
It is a horrible industry, though, isn't it? It's a horrible fucking game, man.
It taught me a lesson. I won't do it again. I've got a second book which is open to be released in the next couple of months. I've finished it. It took me almost 14 months to complete. Called Surrender from the Heart. I like the title.
What's the name again? Sorry, Billy.
Surrender from the Heart.
Nice.
Cool.
And it's a follow-on from a Prayer Before Dawn. And these titles that I come up with, you know, it just come to me and I think, yeah, that's it. That's what it is. You know, A Prayer Before Dawn's not in any way religious, as you can tell by the film. But I remember waking up about 6 a.m. every morning in Bangkok and listening to thousands of inmates praying at the same time. The Islamic culture, you know, to the Fajr, the Islamic culture to Allah, and then you know, you've got the Buddhists with the sutras, and it was like a hypnotic beat that read right through the prison system, and you hear these prayers, and then you think to yourself, okay, now you just unleashed into these gates of hell. You know what I mean? So everyone's praying just before the sun rose. That was kind of like the idea of that title. And Surrender from the Heart is that all I've ever done is fight and fight and fight. And when people used to say to me, surrender, and you'd think, fuck that, nah, I ain't surrendering to none. And they go, look, the war's over. But I grew up in films like No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah.
Not fucking surrendering and all that. I fucking fight this till the end. There's a bit of fucking, till my teeth fall out. And, you know, and I learned that, you know, when you do, like, give up, one thing starts to become a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the fight that you're fighting something that's inside you. So like, you know, it's and it only gets power from you being involved in it. And as soon as you stop and just go down a different road, like you've shown, like what can be achieved, it's amazing. I look forward to the next book, Surrender from the Heart. And that's kind of a prequel to Prayer Before Dawn. Is that what you're saying? That'll give a more about your childhood and stuff like that, is it?
Yeah, there's more contributing factors, and you know, obviously that, you know, I'd been to see, like, I'd been on the. This is where the story starts. You know, you can imagine this, and I'm sure you can identify with something similar. You know, can you imagine your whole life ahead of you? You've got like a movie, you know, getting released in the cinema worldwide. You go to best-selling book. You're standing on the red carpet with superstars in Cannes Film Festival in a brand new tuxedo on a Friday night with everyone cheering and applauding your achievements. And then on a Monday morning, you're trying to scrape a tenner together in Liverpool on a council estate in the same tuxedo. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, it was like...
After relapsing, was it? Or?
Yeah, it was like Friday night, Clint Eastwood and red carpets and parties and looking the part and the paparazzi and photographs, and then on a Monday morning, you're on your local estate in the same tuxedo.
Wow.
Trying to get a bit of crack together, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, what the fuck, Bill? What happened there? You know what I mean? It's like the comparisons, and like, it was more like, the relapse for me was like, I ended up back in prison whilst the film getting released in the cinema and wondering what went wrong.
Oh, wow.
See, the story was like, it's like, this is the most bizarre kind of way, you know, people go to me, what's wrong with it? I go, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't got an answer. I just don't know. If I could tell you, I'd tell you, but just wise up a little bit differently.
Yeah. Amazing story, Billy. Absolutely amazing. And
Well, one of the things that stood out for me as well is like just recently, actually, I didn't know a lot about your story, to be honest with you. The lads told me about it, and I watched the movie the other night. Powerful, and then I watched a few of the interviews, and you talked about inspiring people, and it was funny when you talked about that in the interview. There's a guy who's just started his journey of non-drinking drugs, and I mentioned I mentioned your name, and I'd be talking to you, and he says, "No way, you're not talking to him. He inspired me to start this journey." Like, and I was like, "No way." He literally said to me, he says, "Yeah, that Billy Moore, he's inspired me to start this journey of giving up drinking drugs, like, and he's just started." So, and that was powerful to hear that. So when I heard you were looking to inspire you know, I've met someone you've inspired, you know.
Thanks.
So.
That's really beautiful, really. That's the kind of stuff that, like, I go to bed at night smiling about, you know what I mean, and thinking, you know what, it's nice, and if I've served the purpose, then and I've helped someone else on their journey, then that's important, because you said it before, and many people have said this, and I feel quite like, I don't know how to explain this, but you know when you say, oh, you're resilient and you're a warrior and you're inspirational, and I think, wow, now you know all he ever did was just kept on breathing really in tough situations. And then I don't think I give myself or acknowledge exactly what I did go through, you know what I mean? And I managed to come out intact in a sense where, you know, I just kept coming back, and I'm here today actually like talking about my journey with you guys, and not fucking locked up or dead, you know what I mean?
It's phenomenal, man. I watched it with me, my fiance, and she literally, like, we watched the movie, right? The movie ended, and I turned around to her and said, "Are you all right?" And she couldn't talk, like, she was literally like stuck to her chair, and she was like first she said to me, "Why'd you make me watch this before we're going to bed?" And secondly, she said, she just looked at me and goes, she's just shocked. She says, you know, she's never seen anything like it. It was just like something to go through that, like, you know, she says, you know, just phenomenal stuff to go through for anyone, you know what I mean? And to be here and, you know, implementing change in your life, you know, tells me that, you know, anyone could, well, it's, if you can do it, anyone can do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking powerful, like.
And that's probably like the be all and end all of it, really. It's like I'm no one different from anyone else. I just feel as like, you know, we can go through life and go through these experiences, you know, but we can come out of it and we can kind of change and, you know, look back and go, okay, so this is the mistakes I made, and maybe other people can learn from it. And this is what we talk about when we talk about predecessors. You know, they've been through stuff and they've shared their experiences, and sometimes we learn and sometimes we don't. And sometimes we've got to, you know, keep making mistakes before we realise that, like, you know, this is not the way to live.
Yeah, but it is like the whole thing, man, is anything. You can literally come back from anything. You know, that's the message I get from your story. You know, it's like you can come back from anything, no matter how bad things get. You know, I mean,
your breath in your body, you have a chance. You know?
And that's it, man. And it's like what Danny was saying about the story. Like, I mean, that's what I loved about the movie, man. I really got an understanding of what you went through. You know what I mean? I really did. And then when I seen the True Geordie podcast, it kind of just reaffirmed me that, yeah, that was actually legit, you know, the whole thing, like the story, how it was told. Because I was even saying to me, because I've worked in some films too, and even I was saying to my girlfriend when we were watching it, how did they get those Thai actors? You know, they weren't actors. It's like, you know, they were too real looking. You know, I was like, those tattoos were hardly drawn on. You know what I mean?
They were all real size.
Brilliant, man. For fair play to that guy, that director.
John Stefan Savard he's phenomenal, and he's if you meet him, he's a lovely fella. And I've got nothing but the utmost respect for him, as well as like the actor Joe Cole. We maintain a friendship, and we have done, and it's been ongoing since day one. He supported me through all the shit that that's happened over the years as well. He's never turned his back on me like you can imagine some people would. And he's never, you know, even when I was away, he'd be in touch. He'd be on the phone. He'd be speaking to me mum. He was just genuine.
Yeah.
He's like us. He's just the same as us. He's no different. You know, and I'd like to say, like, as well, just, you know, on a happy note as well. You know, like, I'm 47 years old. You know, I've been through life without. I've never had kids. I've never had. I've struggled with relationships. You know, and it's for the first time in my life. You know, I'm in a relationship where I feel, you know, that I can be myself, and you know, and I'm having my first child in April. And
congratulations, man! Fucking deadly.
8 weeks, and you know what? It's a miracle, to be honest, because I was told in 2016 I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. I was on chemotherapy. I'd lost all my weight. I went down to 9 stone, and they said, you know, you want to freeze your eggs. You know, I never had a relationship at the time, and I didn't think I would, you know, started to use, so I wasn't really concerned about like having children, but I'd always thought of that, leave a legacy behind, and you know, and they said, you know, it'll probably damage your fertility. You know, after a couple of years of being in remission, you know, that changed, and you know, I've got a little boy on the way in April, and so that was never on the card. That really thought I'd be going through this life and passing through with the wind blowing through my soul, thinking, you know, that's it. It's going to be just me, and that's how it's going to end. And that's not the case.
Well, Billy, it's an inspirational story, and I know you were saying that you, like us all, we regret the decades we lost to this thing, but like for what you have come through it with, like, you know what I mean, a life story that has inspired an amazing piece of art, an amazing book, and you know, you've gotten the opportunity now to inspire people to start on this journey. And like, when someone of the stature of yourself and has been through what you've been through, like, that's what happens. You inspire people. Not all of us get to do that, man. You know what I mean? So that is a really, really cool thing. And to be honest with you, it's really after warming me heart now that you, because I could imagine you being an amazing dad, you know, and and what you call it, just to wish you and your partner all the best with that, you know.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Yeah.
Cool. And just look forward, people, please, you know, the book, Prayer Before Dawn, and the movie of the same name. You need to get out there and experience one or both. And also look forward, Billy, to your new book. We'll definitely be buying a copy of Surrender from the Heart. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah,
so keep an eye out for that, folks, as well.
Thanks.
And thanks a million for coming on, Billy. Really enjoyed it, man.
Yeah,
inspirational stuff.
Thanks, you guys. I really enjoyed this. Sometimes, you know, I've had that many podcasts over the past couple of, like, the past year. It's like I thought I'm not doing that again. But this one, quite enjoyed it, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Really nice to hear that, Billy.
Cheers, man.
First one I've done for a while as well, and I was like, I promised myself I'm not doing them no more. And the way you do it,
man.
But it's,
I
appreciate the nice words as well.
Yeah, no, man, it was deadly. And we do really appreciate you coming on, and we won't keep you much longer because we usually run about the hour. But I mean, you covered so much, and like the lads were saying, we did, like, you covered a lot in that hour, man.
I've just one question, if you don't mind. Because this is one we sometimes forget to ask. So our obviously Craic is in the name of our podcast. So the question we ask is, obviously Craic means fun. So now what do you do for Craic? So what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun now?
Yeah.
I teach young kids with autism out of box, and
amazing.
They become included in life and not feel separate or different, and not to treat them any different from. So I work around all inclusive and mentoring young kids growing up and offering a bit of guidance and advice like people gave me years ago. It's like I offer them a little bit of guidance and support, and just someone to talk to and have a laugh with and just reach them where they're at. And that, for me, it's fun. I do a little bit of acting as well. You know, I've acted with a few celebrities in Liverpool that, you know, I grew up watching on the TV. And yeah, training myself. So yeah, just living life on
Cool.
like things about picking up and enjoying
So,
it.
as a boxer, who have you got this weekend, Wilder or Fury?
Fury.
Yeah.
What?
Fury. I've got
Yeah,
Fury.
fucking right, Fury, man. Fucking right. Yeah, he's a far better boxer.
He's got to win by a late knockout.
I think he's going to knock him out.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to knock him out in about the 11th.
Yes.
I have him out boxing him, like.
Yeah, I just got this feeling he's going to put him to Kip.
Yeah.
I think so, man.
I agree.
think so.
I agree.
But
Everyone's saying he has to go the distance on points. I think no. I think he made the mistake of not trying to knock him out the last time. I genuinely think he's going to knock him out.
Well, I do. I think he's going to see. It's going to be a war. Yeah, definitely Fury for me. I messaged Dad a couple of weeks ago.
he's some man, isn't he?
And his cousin Huey. Pieces his arm fella in a piece of Fury.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice to meet him.
Cool.
You still spar yourself?
I do actually. Yeah, I still train. I was regular every day. There's not a day goes by where I'm not in the gym really, but I have active rest days. I'm not like, I know we talk about obsessions, but I can like go to the gym a little bit too much sometimes, but I don't see that to be a bad thing really.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's good for the soul, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking right.
Right,
Cool.
so listen, man. Thanks a million. We'll wrap it up on that. And yeah, man, great chatting to you.
And you let me know when you should releasing that, and I'll share a few.
Appreciate it,
definitely.
Billy.
Hopefully, we'll see you in Ireland or over in Liverpool at some stage, man. For one,
Yeah, definitely like that. Yeah.
Or Tenerife if you're over here ever.
In Tenerife, yeah. I'll be there.
You go there quicker, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
Billy.
You take
Peace.
care.
Take care, man.
Cheers, brother. Don't forget to subscribe to That's Good Crack on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever you're listening to it right now.